we're streaming. Go ahead and present their chief.
All right.
Make it full screen. So, what was the tip on the pipeline at the end to get that last checkpoint or whatever? What did you
So
do differently?
when you first do the pipeline,
Yeah,
instead of doing it the way you first start your deployment and push,
yeah,
going in and doing the first modification in the Jenkins file
yeah,
to point to your image,
yeah.
that'll give you your first successful pipeline, and you can see the job and task run properly.
Okay, all
And
right.
then after that, once you do an update and you push and commit that Docker image again, it works.
It works. Okay, good. It's like you had to do like a git merge branch or something like that, right?
Yes.
I put my estimated taxes for April in envelopes and filled out the forms and everything, put checks in them, put the addresses on the envelopes on the 14th. And then I thought, "Oh my god, I don't think I signed the one check to like either North Carolina or the federal, whatever." So I opened the envelope and I was like, "Yeah, sure enough, I didn't sign it." So I set it aside to go get another envelope. I hadn't put a stamp on it yet, you know. And in the rush, I was like, okay, well, I did it. And then I took the envelope of the one that was good, but not the one that I needed to redo, because I didn't redo it. Mailed that on the 14th. And then on the 15th, around 6 o'clock, I came back to do some work and I sat at my desk and I was like, oh my God, there's the federal estimated taxes due today. And so I went to the mail. You remember like when they used to have the mail on the 15th, it would run till midnight or something, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to pick up from that box at midnight or not.
Yeah, I feel better. Last year, when I had to send off for my state and my federal,
Yeah.
I forgot to sign the check as well. Yeah, don't use checks that much anymore, so
Yeah.
it happens.
Yeah.
All right, can you see my screen? Okay.
Yeah, it's like your student 3-7 something.
Yeah. Go ahead and launch my shell. Pop out the shell window.
Are you using an Edge browser?
Yes.
So GCP will work with Edge, huh? Cool.
Yep. Yeah, it every once in a while it does something slightly odd, but for the most part it works out pretty good. So
What
list my project, make sure it's signed.
is Windows 10 still the latest Windows?
Yes. They're moving away from the numbering behind it, and I think it's just gonna be like more Windows desktop
Yeah.
and a service release version number.
Oh.
All right, gonna set my computing zone. So in the lab, I don't know when this changed, but they say for the computing zone to use US East 1B,
Yeah.
but the lab is actually assigned to US East 1D.
Yeah. I remember like there was something in there where you had to create something in the correct zone, and like the
Mm-hmm.
zone they specified was not the zone for the checkpoint.
Yep. So I'm
That's
gonna go ahead and fast forward past that step and put in the proper zone.
that's been like months that that thing has been broken like that.
And of course, that's my first API call, so I have to acknowledge that. Gonna get my source. Oops. For the first two checks. And then I'm gonna clone this the Valkyrie app, and that is and I keep forgetting how to do this. I thought I marked that down again. Oh, no, I did it this time. So, edit this and get my project number. So the source of this is already in the project. Three, 7, 2. So cloning from our repository, source developers, google.com, Quick Labs, and there's a typo in that. Somehow I forced a P. Project name /R Valkyrie app. And it did not. What happened there? Nope. Still a syntax error. /google.com/p/Quick Labs. There we go. So my app is there. My two markers for the check. And I need to create a Docker file using this content. So instead of me going into the editor, I'm just going to do a cat redirect in the file and out to the Valkyrie app Docker file. Paste my content in the file, and it's all created. I'm going to cd in the Valkyrie app, and I'm going to build this Docker file with the tag v0.0.1. John, do you think at some point they're going to go away from Docker and actually use Podman, or?
I don't know. I mean, that's one of the things I was thinking about earlier. Did you see anything? Because I haven't been keeping up on really that Kubernetes, no Docker, whatever, yada, yada, yada. And did this lab get affected by it? And have you paying attention to it?
Docker build-t, Valkyrie app-app v001. Oops, got to put the trailing dotted in. Building a source from this directory. All right, I'll go ahead and check. It's going to see the image. We're happy there. I can highlight my check progress button. Moving on to task 2.
Rock and roll.
So we're going to go in and just test the created image. So Docker run -p 8080 and run that in the background. Actually, I'm gonna do a -d. Well, I was. And Valkyrie app.
I wish they would have made that name like Test App or Foo App, because I can never know how to spell Valkyrie.
Yes, I can't tell you how many times I have just mistyped that.
Well, I've learned how to spell it.
Yeah, learn how to spell it. I don't know how to spell it. Maybe I should look at that as an opportunity.
All right. So app is running. Good to go there. Task 3, we're gonna push this. So they want a retagging. So that's gonna be the Docker tag command.
You know, as I'm watching you do this, I'm thinking there's a guy, I think his name is Malcolm Van Dal, I think that's, or Van something. He is a guy that started a Python coffee club meetup, and I used to go to that, and you know, I still get the messages from it and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I always tried to invite that guy over here. They had a kind of like a relaxed thing. They used to meet at one of the coffee shops here near South Point Mall, and then they started going over to the library on Highway 54, and they've been in it for quite a while. If you remember, Laverne, you might remember the guy's name. He's been to a couple of meetings on GCP and AWS, both named Thomas something or other. Thomas the Danish Dynamo. He's a big Danish guy. You remember him? You ever met him?
I'm not sure.
He used to go to those meetings, and I had met him at another meeting, Meetup.com, years ago. Always kept in touch. You'll see him sometime on LinkedIn post.
Yeah, I am so ready to get back and be able to meet in person.
Yeah.
A lot of my week I spend in front of WebExes or just chatting online. I just want to be around people and discuss things.
Oh yeah, for real.
Yes, that meetup schedule. Yes, right now I just get all the emails, but yeah, Tuesday and Thursdays I usually had a meetup, or had one of my own. Mine used to be on Thursdays.
Yeah. So I just did the tag, and just to verify that it's tagged properly, I ran Docker image list just to verify that. So to me, I think that's one thing like the lab should include is in some of these steps having that verification.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, it did not. Oh, I need to push it. So
You need to push it to GCRIO. Is that what it
yep. I forgot that was part of this. Left out a 1. All right, there we go. Push, push, push.
Does that say failed? Or no, it says pushed. Okay, pushed.
Yep. All right, so task 3 is done. The tag, and then the first one failed because I left the trailing one was off the end, so I had to do it again. All right, so now task 4, building that Kubernetes. So one of the things here is inside of GCP, the cluster's already built from Kubernetes. So all I have to do is get my credentials, and that's that gcloud containers clusters get credentials. Plus the cluster name. So Valkyrie. Every time I cut and paste that, I
yeah. And you're putting the zone is already in the file, right?
Yeah.
East 1D.
Yeah,
okay.
Because I said that because it's the US 1D.
Right.
The initial statement tells that it's actually B, but that is incorrect.
Okay.
If it's not specified, it'll go by that project setting that you did.
Yep. Right? And had I had it set to B, it would actually give a warning and suggest that it should be D instead of B. So, all right. If I wanted to check the cluster, I could use kubectl commands. Get nodes.
This is what I used to do. I did the documentation for these labs.
And then get the pods. So that is there. Oh, before I did, I need to deploy it. So kubectl and create. And I think I was deploying these directly from.
Okay.
But doing deploying to service, I think I just call in the file. Let's just try it. File, and I'm in the app. It's going to be under the source directory and deployment file. No, it's under the K8 file directory. Deployments. And that's the configuration, and then this is the service. Then I can check to see if they're there. And you see here, when I do get pods, I have an invalid image name. So that's because within the configuration, it's not set properly. So I can go in and fix that. So BI, actually, I'm going to get this while I'm here. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do a substitution. So if I cat deployment, the developer Kurt, he made a settings change, and the image just says image here.
Right, so you have to put it back in there.
So I have to put it in there, and it's in 2 places in the file. So I'm just going to do a inline replacement.
Place image here twice.
And this is going to replace everywhere image here is. So that way I don't have to go into the editor and make my console go crazy.
Mhm.
Oh, I gotta nullify the meta characters under these slashes. All right. So now if I cat it again, my image is in place. And since I made that change, I need to apply the settings. So I'll use the kubectl apply command.
Yeah, I got to remember this again. I'm glad that it's done across all the platforms, so you don't. Because I used to do this on a different platform. So.
And I can do get pods. And it is creating, but it did not run the way I wanted, so I'm actually going to kill it. Just because. kubectl. Watch it die out. Eventually.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm going to go ahead and restart a new one. All right, they're going to come up. And let's see if I can get my checkbox to actually accept it while it's still there. Yep. So it's green. I have a deployment. So the next one is update the deployment with a new version and increase the replicas from 1 to 3, and that you don't occur an outage. So that's the scale.
Mm-hmm.
That's like num replicas or something like that.
Yeah. Dash replicas.
3. There you go.
Oh, I didn't do something. I didn't put in the app.
Valkyrie, yes. Valkyrie did.
All right. So now I have the 2 replicas coming up. That should give me a pass. All right, so now I want to do the changes made. Kurt made some changes, so he wants to pull down the branch.
Mm-hmm.
And we do the git merge for that. That was not what I wanted in my cut and paste buffer.
Holy moly. Oh, no. I thought my son was going to mow the grass. I thought that what I heard him doing was pulling the lawnmower out. I was getting ready to... Nope, that's not it.
So now we need a new build.
Did you push it or not? Oh.
Yep. Doing a new build of the version.
Okay.
Oops, I am not in the right directory.
This is version 2.
Mm-hmm. So I do my build. I do my tag of my new version. Change that to a 2. Make sure my images are showing up. Go ahead and push version 2 up there. And we do our check. Oh, what didn't I do? I skipped something.
Okay, you got the push and the tag.
Am I supposed to? I am supposed to update my app before I
Did you
do it.
merge? Did you
I
merge?
didn't.
Okay.
I didn't do that. So yeah, I didn't redeploy. So
Okay.
this is the fun part of this is doing this so many different times that
You remember everything, the commands. Just yeah,
yeah,
my command line. And I used to be a command line person, and I'm not as flexible as I used to be on everything. So I need to practice a little bit more often.
Yeah, instead of actually doing the lab now, I'm just kind of like, oh yeah, you do this and then you do this and
yeah, you remember the order. Yeah, I'm practicing. Right, I keep seeing all these cube control commands. Okay, oh yeah, I remember that now. You know, I could all the ones that are not really used for the lab, you can try.
Yeah. All right, so that is done. The version of the image is out. So I'm gonna do a
Are you deleting or?
I don't know why I said destroy. Yeah. I have another platform and we have a destroy command.
Slightly different. Yes, I know the cube control. A lot of it's the same, but it is different. That's what I keep trying to remember.
All right, so now if my image is good and updated to the next version, if I look at my pods, creating container is a good thing. If my image wasn't correct, I would see that the failed to get image or it would be backing off. So that should be good. And now my check is green.
Okay.
All right, now comes the fun stuff. It's Jenkins time.
Okay. Now this is the part I gotta, because I'm gonna try this again after I don't have that many credits in my account, so I have to get this all right, and then I'll.
So we want to. First thing we're gonna do is get the password for Jenkins, so we can log in. Super long command for that. I'm just gonna put that somewhere else for now. All right, we need to, I think I have an image running, so I need to kill that. So Docker PS, yep, it's still running. And just for good cleanup, I'm gonna do a RM and remove it so it's not existing anymore at all. So if I do a Docker PS-A, I don't have anything running, I don't have anything stopped. And now I'm going to start up my Jenkins instance. And using the kubectl port 4 to open it up, which is here. So admin, and this password is going to allow me to log in. I'll select the suggested plugins. And start using Jenkins. And we did the first stuff in 30 minutes, so we're good for time, so we can play around as much as we want. So, under Manage Jenkins, we go in, Manage Credentials, Jenkins, Global Credentials, Add Credentials, and we want to select a Google Service account from metadata. Because we have the project from when we launched, it picks up the project name. And it shows what access it has. So reading the platform, the source, reading the source, read, write. All right, so that's there. And go back to the dashboard now. And we'd want to go back to a new item, selecting the multi-pipeline. Oh, give it a name. Multi-branch pipeline. Oops, I think I hit the button twice. Under the configuration, this is where we go and do our setup. So adding our source, come from Git, the project repository, let me get that long line. Let's see, is that still, do I have the same right one? Did I cut and paste that? Make sure that's my right project. It is not. Make sure the Valkyrie app is at the end of that. Put in the service account credentials. Now, John, I have a question here.
Yeah.
So under step 6, it wants you to create a pipeline that points to the */master branch on your source code.
Does it say master branch? I can't remember.
Yes.
I think so. Okay. All right.
So where do I put in Jenkins for the *master branch? Would I put this under /master here in the repository name?
I don't know. There's a branch source. Okay, you're on the branch sources tab. Mm-hmm. And then down below where it says discover branches.
Yes.
Click on that for a second. To the right. Yeah, help. Discovers branches on this repository.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's going to look for it. I don't know what that is. What is that?
So this is filter with names or filter by regular expression. Maybe I need that. Yes. Because in the past, I've always just done the individual.
And so that's going to
And
look
so
for branches, but filter by the name of the master.
Yep.
All right, very good.
Okay. Cool. That's all I needed. So before I hit save here, because I want to have a successful initial pipeline, I'm gonna go into the Jenkins file. Let's see, where am I at? PWD. And I'm gonna replace my project before I even do my first scan. So I'm gonna replace your project with the project name. Oh, what just happened there? All right, I have no idea what I just did, but whatever I did, it was wrong.
So did it replace anything? I can't.
No, it didn't.
Okay.
All right, so oh, there we go. So that project at the top there is set as a variable, and then it's used all the way down to find those images. So $, squiggly bracket project is referenced a couple of times in the actual Jenkins file.
It is an environment. It's good.
So by doing that, now that I have this done,
It says dangling.
Dangling. So this started with a dot. Maybe that's what I need. All right, well, it says it's scanning it. Once I hit save, didn't have any error messages. So if I go to status, and so it still shows that it's an empty folder, so I don't think my meta character worked properly. Or maybe it's a wild card. Let's get that first one out of here. And hit save. Let it scan again. It zipped through really fast. No reason to play with the text version. It still says my... So that's not working for me. Or maybe I just need master?
Is it a regular expression or just a glob expression?
Ah.
It's glob, okay.
Yep. So, and there it found master. So it found 2 branches, and a build schedule for master. All right. Throw lines of code at it until it works.
Right. Yeah. Test and push.
So now under Valkyrie app, I have the master. If I click into here, we should have started a build. If I go to the console output, things that I'm looking for is making sure we're calling the project. It's attempting to do a build. And in here is that exciting part, because this first build, because we set the variable for the project, we should see it actually call the proper image. And this is where I ultimately had the hardest time, because the first build would fail, and then trying to get it to refresh and then run the build again. So we'll see what happens here. And then we have the other fun part. We'll go and make some more changes, and then we'll push this back up. Redo our git commits. Actually, I can go ahead and set up some of that, because we're going to need to set the global configuration files. All right, so now it's attempting to pull our image. Watching paint dry. All right, well, while that's going. So these are those extra changes they want to do. Because I did the project file, the only one we need to change is the inside of the source file, the html.go file. And we want to change the 2 occurrences of green to orange. So I'm just going to do another substitution, /s. We're going to go from green to orange. Might help if I do a -I for inline. And just check for orange. And so git add. Actually, I'm going to do a git status to show me what has changed. The Jenkins file. Oh, I did not push my Jenkins file, so my image is actually going to fail. That's cool. So git add. take those changes, git commit -m, project updates is what I'll call it. And of course I got to put, this is where it wants my identity. Student, long name. Take out the extra quote. So because I didn't push, my first image fails because we use the defaults. And so here's that image not working because it's looking for your project.
Okay.
And now I do a git push. So push that up the master. And if I go back here now, I'll do a new scan. That shouldn't take long. And then when I come back here, it's starting a second build. Watch the console. Stuff happens. And see how even though I pushed, it still acts like it did not take it. This is why I would have preferred to have that done in the beginning. What, did I do everything? I did a config, I did an app, yeah, and then a git status, make sure it's there.
You haven't pushed it yet.
Oh, I didn't commit. Now let's push. Ah, all right. Third time's the charm. And my storm clouds are just sitting there. I love that.
What is that icon supposed to mean?
Oh, there's some problem with it. So it's like a rainy day.
Gotcha.
All right, so build number 3. And so here's a little chart showing me my failures. Take a look at the console. And I do have an update, so we're downloading an image. That means it's successful. And then technically at this point, even if we didn't have the image working, because we pushed changes into Jenkins, our checkbox would go green.
Okay, just the push does it.
Yeah. The success of it actually coming up isn't really in the check. It's just that the fact that you did a push. So I can hit green on it now and it's going to go. And so there's our variable. It's showing that I'm actually pulling from my image for my correct project. And that's success. So if I go here back to my master, I've got all green. If I go to the status at the top, I'm actually surprised that my dashboard was showing, oh, it changed. So it's raining, but it's because I have a 33% build. And I think I can go back and delete them. And then I think it turns happy.
So what does the SW columns mean?
Success.
Status.
So this status of the last build, and then this is the weather report. So because I'm at 33%, it's slightly raining. If I was at 0%, it would be a thunderstorm. Yeah, I've been playing with this a lot for like the past 2 weeks. So. So if I go in here and delete, and then delete this one, does this give me 100%? No.
Oh, there it is.
Well, that's on the that's on the app,
on that one,
but it's not on the branch.
Okay, it's still saying it remembers 2 out of 3.
Yep. Well, let me just make another build. So let's see if we can get the numbers up.
Those are rookie numbers. You got to get those numbers up. I heard that in some video recently.
Yeah, so for me, the real takeaways from this lab weren't necessarily the work through of the challenge lab itself, but one part was really getting that understanding of Jenkins. And the first couple of times that I did the lab, there wasn't enough time really left by the time I got here. I would be at a 30-minute mark. So one wrong click, waiting for the build to complete and things like that would take a lot of time. So getting the build and the image properly set and the replica and the scaling, the Docker's Kubernetes, just getting more comfortable with what they were asking for and which commands to use for that. So there's not a lot of hints, and again, even before the challenge lab, there's not a lot of this is how you truly check it or applying of best practices. But once I got past all that, then it was just all about Jenkins. And up until doing these labs in Quick Labs, I didn't have any experience with Jenkins, so I definitely feel a little bit better about it. Still a long way to go. Yeah, so now my master now has a...
Okay, so just remembering. Okay, maybe it just took that long to update.
Yeah, once I took those out and now I have success, then my weather report's happy and my status is showing. The fact that it's blinking is showing that there's a build in progress. So, yeah, if I go back into my code and I make changes to my files and repush, the scan should wake up. Ooh, one thing I didn't do, and I skipped over that in the configuration, was the actual automatic scanning. So having this run every minute, it would automatically generate the scan and rebuild it would see a change that got pushed and would be automatic. Yeah, so I needed to do that. The other thing that I'm really and again, it was just I was okay with getting all the branches, but adding this filter by wildcards, so that way it just picks that up and automatically brings it in. So I'm definitely going to other things I play around with, get this going and do that. All right. Any questions, comments, thoughts, concerns about that?
No, that's awesome that you figured it out.
I think I can finally mark this one completely off the list and move into other things. All right.
Very nice, very nice.
So what do we want to look at next week?
It was while we were doing this, I got an email from Google saying this is your final week to complete your chosen challenge and earn Google Cloud skill badges at no cost.
Okay, the Kubernetes challenge, yes, I have to get it into.
Deploy to Kubernetes, optimize costs for Google Kubernetes engine, or secure workloads in Google Kubernetes engine. I didn't even know that I had that thing running. It was something we mentioned previously, and I just never did anything on it.
Okay.
How about this? You go ahead and pick whatever you want, and we'll just follow along with you next week. Right now I'm kind of like behind, so you're really doing me a solid by coming here and helping us out on this. We'll just go that route. Yada yada yada.
Okay. So technically, the one that we did, the first challenge was the deploy to Kubernetes in Google. So this is the one that we've been working on here. So I'm looking at the second one.
Optimize cost.
Yeah, and we kind of did. I know I didn't do the initial beginnings.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to go ahead and let me in my lab and take a look at those.
So on that first one, yeah, it says complete. So we did that one. Yada yada yada. All right, well, whatever. I'm gonna log out.
Oh, optimize cost for Kubernetes engine. Okay, let's see how many.
Do I get a? Do I get to show my badge?
You may have to refresh in a few minutes, and then you can put it on LinkedIn. Dudes, I'm going to go ahead and mow my grass and try to get it done by the 1 o'clock meeting.
Okay.
And I'll join back 10 o'clock on Sunday. Yada, yada, yada. And we'll just follow your lead. I'm going to stop streaming.
All right.